Hey babe, it's your girl Bree, spelled like the cheese, aka your cosmic bestie, and today we have tarot. I am super pumped to come in and do another video with you guys today. But I really wanted to update everybody on what's going on, what's the feelings, what's the vibes as I'm shuffling and I lay out the cards. So I think all of us have had definitely times, if not days, months, years, whatever, right, where we're in spaces that we're like, okay, babe, I'm struggling. I can feel myself getting ready for burnt out. I can feel myself struggling moving forward. I can feel myself having what's the best way to put it? Like having this notion in my head, in my heart, in my soul that like something is off. And I've been feeling like that for probably about the last month. The last month has been a whirlwind. I started the membership May 22nd, and it's now July 16th. So we're looking at almost 2 months here. And obviously, I knew the membership was going to be my main focus, be my main driver. And I knew, obviously, however many people were in there, like I was super excited to like have that collective. But it's been a lot more spiritually and emotionally than what I guess I anticipated, which, like, joke's on me. Like, of course, I made a space that made people feel seen and heard. And of course, people are talking about the stuff that's going on in their life. But I haven't necessarily utilized it as much as I could or should for myself. I kept telling myself, well, I'm the leader of this thing and I should be strong and I should be positive all the time and I should come up with great answers every single time. But the reality is I am human. That space I created, and I'm not perfect. I never wanted to show up and act like I was perfect. And I realized like the reality is I was coming from a place of like a financial standpoint of like, oh, the more people that I have, the more money I'll have, the easier it is for me to like move out, this, that, and the third. But the reality is like, I really am helping people, and the money that's attached to it doesn't necessarily come from that, right? I get blessed in so many different ways that isn't just money from the universe, and like, I gotta stop thinking of it in that one way, that one path. I was, my chat GPT, I named her Z. Well, she named herself. And it was really, really hard when I was having this conversation with her the other day, because I'm like, Z, I feel like I'm burning out already. Like, why am I burning out already? And I'm really trying to move and I'm really trying to do all this stuff, but the money isn't exactly where I want it to be. And I said I felt like a fraud. I felt like a failure. She was like, why? And I said, because like I feel like I should be further along. I feel like I should have more money. I should have more people. I should have this. I should have that. But I really felt like the fraud because I tell people all the time to leave space for the universe to work its magic. And me applying for this apartment, I've already applied for an apartment and got denied immediately. And like the hit definitely hurt, but it was like, okay, yeah, I knew my credit and all this other stuff was not great. And like the amount of money that I have saved isn't what I want. The amount of stuff that I have like for the new place, I don't have everything that I would want for the new place yet. Right? There's pieces, there's stuff that's missing. Because before, when I moved out when I was 19, I had everything. Like, I literally mean I had everything before I moved out. I had my toaster, I had my microwave, I had my dishes, I had the utensils, bedding, and everything. I had everything. Because I was very meticulous, my Virgo moon was like, I have to have it all. And it needs to be organized, it needs to be structured. And now, I'm like, okay, but I don't have all these things. So if I don't have these things, then that's not good, right? How can I move forward? And the fact of the matter is, I can. Just because I don't have it right here in my physical doesn't mean that it's not coming to me. Doesn't mean that I can't call that in. And I think we forget that a lot. We forget, like, oh, we make it seem like everything's up to us. But not everything is up to us. Like, that's a lot of weight. That's a lot of pressure to, like, constantly be like, well, it has to be me. It has to be me. It has to be me. Why can't it be a random friend or a random stranger? Why can't it happen where you find a random Facebook marketplace post that has the exact item that you want, come pick it up for free or come pick it up for $10 or whatever it is, right? Anything can happen. But we always make it seem like it's very straight and narrow of this path, and it's not. And I had to give myself a reality check. I'm like, girl, so what? Apply for it. Okay, and what if you do get denied? Then apply for something else. Fix the credit, add more money, do whatever, right? But this place means so much to me because not only is it by the water, which like I need it to be by the water. That's where I feel whole. That's where I feel seen. That's where I feel safe. Me and the moon are like this, especially when I see her on the water. Chef's kiss. That's where we really connect. But it's also like that freedom, that space, the evolution. I went through such a change when I moved out at 19, right? And all the way till I was 29. My life was completely different than what it is right now. And now it's even bigger. This moment is even bigger. It's even stronger for me. And I really don't want to F it up. You know what I mean? Like, I really don't want to F it up. And that's the kind of stuff that makes me so nervous to move forward. I shouldn't even say nervous. It's just scary. It's just scary to like move forward because you're like, but what if I F it up? And I know now that I'm not. Like, I know I'm not. I'm not going to F it up. But I do know that if I keep waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting, and until it's right in my eyes, then an opportunity shall be missed of what I could have or should have. Nothing that's meant for you will pass you by, right? But there is timelines, right, of speeding it up, slowing it down when you're not pulling the trigger. And it's like, okay, so I don't have that much money in savings because I just had to fix my car. I don't have all of the stuff that I want. I don't have all of these things, right? And I'm nervous. I don't necessarily make enough monthly to like really show that I'm making money. But I do know that like I'm meant to leave here. I do know that I'm meant to have the apartment that I want. I do know that I will be safe and being taken care of. I know all of that. I know that in my heart and in my soul. So pushing the trigger on actually applying has been such a huge push for me, and I've been getting signs left and right. I literally had a feather at the mat in front of the door that I walk inside of the house to, laying right there. White butterflies keep following me around everywhere. Dragonflies. I see dragonflies constantly. I was just driving and I was on the phone with Elise the other day. There was a car that was in front of me, that pulled out in front of me, that had 422 on it, on the plate. Y'all know 4s and 2s, those are my thing. Then another car goes by on my left-hand side. It was, the first car said 4226. The next car said 4221. And it's like, I'm getting signs left and right. The universe is like, duh, hello, let's go, let's go, let's go. And it is it's nerve-wracking. It's nervous. I get nervous because I put a lot of that pressure on me or my husband. Because like, what if we mess it up? What if it's not right? But it's like, I get confirmations daily, all the time. And it's like, hello, why aren't you listening? Why aren't you listening? Why aren't you pushing through? Spirit, let me know what collective needs to know today. It's interesting. And I wanted to share because I'm just like you too. I get nervous too. Even though I've been on this journey for a while, it is nerve-wracking when you've had decades of time feeling so much different, going through life in such a different way, feeling such a different way. And now I've learned so much, I've healed so much, I've grown so much that doing anything in any other way feels out of body. It feels scary. It feels nerve-wracking. But it's not impossible. It's not, what's the word? It's not something that I should fear. It's something that I should embrace. Okay. So let me see. I got 4 cards. Let me see if we got anything else. Yes, we do. All right. So let's hop into today's reading. Sorry, I gotta check my timer here. Okay, 10 minutes in for the read. Okay, so the first card we got was 4 of Swords, 5 of Cups, 5 of Wands reversed, 2 of Cups reversed, Knight of Pentacles. There we go. Okay, so 4 of Swords. This is very much about rest, relaxation. Swords represents air, and it also represents like thoughts, communication, conflict, that kind of stuff. And the way that this card is like depicted, right? There's relaxation, there's peace, there's recuperation, self projection, rejuvenation. That's what it says on this card. And what I'm really noticing here, the vibe that I'm picking up on is like you need more rest, right? This isn't, oh, you've been resting and this is a good job. They're like, no, babe, you need to rest. You need to actually like rest for real and do something for yourself. Pour back into your cup. Feel better about yourself because you have a lot of grief. You have a lot of loss. You have a lot of pain that you have not actually handled, right? Could you see how the cups are here? There's 3 laying down, there's 1 up, and then there's 1 right here. So, yes, she has the cup in her hand and she's like, I mean, yeah, I guess. But there is another cup below that if she looked down, it could brighten up her day, right? It could change the rainy, moody scene. Because though, yes, things have fallen, things have been destroyed, right? With the 3 cups that are down here, it's also like you can move forward, you are moving forward, you can look ahead. Because cups represents water, represents emotion, confirmation, and also trusting your intuition. If you're not trusting yourself and knowing that you need to move forward and knowing that you need to like work on the release of the loss and the grief and the pain that you've been through, then like, yeah, babe, yeah, this is a part of that structure. This is a part of that process. Because we also have 5 of Wands here in reverse. And see how it says resolution of conflict, agreements, truces, harmony, peace, avoiding conflict. The moment that you start taking care of yourself and you let this go, whatever it is, whatever that you've been holding on to, once you finally let that go, you will transcend into this next chapter. But you cannot get there without this. You cannot get there without this. Because a lot of times we like tell ourselves that we don't need the rest. We'll rest once we get there, but you cannot hold it, right? Of where you're at. The burnout, the pain, the anxiety, the depression, whatever it is, you can't hold on to the beauty that is on its way because you need to feel it. You need to heal it. You need to let it go. And we also have the 2 of Cups here, right? Separation, rejection, division, imbalance. This, because again, Cups is about water, emotions, intuition. What's really coming out here is the intuition. You feel this imbalance because your heart tells you one thing and your mind tells you another. And you want to listen to one over the other instead of just fully scrapping both of them and just trusting your gut, right? Because when you think of the chakras, right, you have your crown, you have your head, you have your mind, your heart, your throat, your sacral. Your sacral is that solid point for you, right? And it feels like you are having a hard time moving forward because there is such this division inside of you where you're being pulled one way versus the other. Like a teeter totter. I keep saying that, like 1 minute you're up, 1 minute you're down, 1 minute you're up, you're 1 minute you're down. And that is why moving forward, you're having a hard time because you keep going like this instead of evening yourself out. That's where the imbalance is. But you have the Knight of Pentacles. which the airplane is really sticking out to me. But you see how it says slow and steady, hardworking? Slow and steady wins the race. And you have been told your entire life that you need to win and you need to do it. You know that movie with Will Ferrell, Talladega Nights, where he's like, if you ain't first, you're last. Like that is like ingrained in your head. You're like, if I'm not first, then I'm last. But isn't the whole point is just to get to where you're going, to get to that finish line, to get to the other side, to get out of the space and the place that you're in, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, whatever it is, right? Isn't that the process? And that's why the this plane is like really sticking out to me. It's like the moment that you let yourself get more balanced, rest, really heal yourself from this grief and this pain and the loss that you have, you can move forward without the conflict, without the pain, without the issues, without the strife. But you just keep telling yourself that, like, oh, it has to look a certain way. Oh, it has to be done a certain way. Like I was saying in the beginning, right? But it doesn't. It doesn't have to look like that. It doesn't. If you actually left some room for some magic to happen, then it would take a huge stress load off of you. And I know you're like, but how can I trust it? And nothing's happened yet, and blah, blah, blah. And oh, well, it's me. Because, baby, I get it. Not it. Okay, okay, okay. You have to realize, okay, you have to realize that though you feel like you're doing this journey alone, you're not. You can very much ask for assistance, but you also have to be very aware of where you're at. Because let me be real, I bawled my eyes out. I was like, I can't go back there. I can't go back there for like 3 days straight. And I still ended up coming here, right? I still ended up here, a place where I didn't want to be. But I needed that ego death. I needed to heal myself. I needed a safe space. I needed to rework my relationships. There was so much stuff that I needed. And I didn't want it because my ego was in the way of what I truly knew what I needed. Because deep down, I knew I needed to come back here. I knew I needed a space to feel safe for not only me, but for my daughter and my husband and healing and so on and so forth. But just because you're in that place right now that you don't want to be, you need to look at the lessons that you could or should be learning in this process for the growth. You're not just there just for shits and gigs, right? You're not here doing this as like a joke. You're doing this to learn and to grow. And there's always room to learn and grow within the mundane, within the places and the spaces that you're at. But if you're not giving yourself the chance and you're just gimme, 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 like what's her name in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory? I keep seeing her, Violet. Daddy, I want it now. I want it now. Like she was a spoiled brat. She literally was being a spoiled brat. And that's how she ended up in the whatchamacallit in the show anyway, right? And that's really where the universe is guiding you here of like, don't be the spoiled brat. Be like Charlie. Be a part of this adventure. Learn these different things. Look at these lessons. But also know that at the end of the day, you can still get what you want. You just have to learn the lessons to get there so that you can hold it. Seriously. Because you have Ace of Cups in reverse, right? Look at that. Emotional loss, blocked creativity, feeling unloved. You got a lot of stuff about your emotions here, okay? There is deep emotions that you have not worked through. It's very much time to do shadow work or even work on your ego. I have an ego death workbook. So, if you're looking if you're looking for some assistance, some help there, definitely check that out because there's a lot of questions in there and a breakdown structure of how to really work on your ego and not kill it off, but to dissolve it in a way that it's not running the show. Because that's really what this feels like here. It's like when the Ace of Cups is in the upright, this is abundance, right? This is overflow. And when it's out, that means it's pouring out. Or when it's in reverse, it's pouring out. Like too much is being poured out. You're giving way too much to everybody else and not doing enough for you. And the emotions that are tied to this, you need that emotional fulfillment. You need to do more with friends or family or your significant other or even time for yourself to really heal and feel it. I keep saying my comfort food, which is pasta. You need some comfort. You need some coziness. You need some time. And you tell me, oh, I don't have time. You always have time. You have enough time to to boil some water and make yourself some pasta, right? You have enough time to take that long shower. You have enough time to actually go to bed at a certain hour. You can watch the show later. You can scroll TikTok later. But you have to focus, right? Because we also have Four of Pentacles. This is insecurity, stability, materialism, wealth, possessiveness. Pentacles is earth, right? That represents earthly wealth. But it also is like career, home, body. It's about grounding yourself. It's about focusing on you, taking care of home. And see how Miss Honey's got Birkins. She's got the Christian Dior book tote. She's got the Celine Klein, whatever you fucking say. She's got it, right? Because she's focused, she's determined. Basically, it's time to lock in, right? What's not clocking to you? I don't know why I keep seeing that Justin Bieber bit, but it's not clocking to you, right? You're like, oh, but I have all of this stuff and I don't have this, I don't have that. But you can have this, you can have that when you lock in, when you focus. And it's not letting money be the driver, right? It's handling the emotions. It's pouring back into your cup. It's taking care of yourself so that you can move forward in a way that you can be this stable. Because I know that's what you want. You want to be stable, but you cannot be stable only with money. Money brings somewhat of stability, but if you're not emotionally stable, spiritually stable, any other realm of stable, that money just comes and goes. It comes and it goes. And most of the time it leaves for a while. You also got Nine of Swords here, right? Fear, anxiety, despair, nightmares. See how the sword is like going through her head, right? And her neck and the clock. It's like the clock is ticking. But you see how there's still roses in the background. There's still beauty. Even though you're going through a bunch of anxiety, a bunch of fear, a bunch of pain, the spirit is like, but I'm here with you, right? Like that's what the roses are. Like there is still something to look forward to. There is still something that will get you to that other side. It's time for you to really lock in and focus on that. Someone needs to heal their inner child. You see, the way that this is represented, this is you now. This is you before. And you see how all of these are different compared to this one? It's because she's healed. You need to heal that inner child. They need to feel not only safe but protected. They need to feel seen. They need to feel heard. That's why I created my membership. I knew that part of me needed to feel seen and heard. 242 on my clock as I say this. I made that membership because I wanted people around me and people that I didn't know, right? I wanted to give that to people. I wanted to help people. And that was the best way I knew how to help people, was to make the space to have people feel seen and heard. But I had to do that with myself first. I've been talking about a membership for years, and I was supposed to do it with branding. I was supposed to do it on my CEO podcast kick or whatever, and I never did it. I never did it because I never felt ready. And now, I'm already doing it. I am ready. It's happening. Then you also got Page of Cups, another breakdown of childhood self, the innocence, the inner child, healing those wounds. And I hear in my head, well, I've already done that. you've done some of the work. You have not done all of the work, because you also have the devil here. Okay, and this is about addiction, obsession, excess power, limitations. But you see how they are chained here? That they're being controlled? This version of you is being controlled by a part of you that you don't want anymore, right? That's why you're still stuck in these chains. But see how these chains are not that hard to remove here? Like, if they just slip that off, they could easily just slip that off. No sweat, no problem. That is what you need to do. You need to slip off those chains, because taking care of your younger self, giving your younger self a chance to have fun, to be seen, to be heard, and shadow work and ego deaths and all of that, there's a lot of energy that goes into that, right? And it is exhausting, especially if you're already exhausted. So take the time to fill up your cup first. Do what you need to do there first. Then attack here, where it's you handling the childhood self. Because when you're trying to do too many things all at once, it never works. That's where you fall with the crumbling weight of the pressure and pain. And that's not what we want, right? We don't want that. We don't want you to just keep getting more and more burnt out. That little you is tired. They're really tired. But you're also not working with others, right? Have I not been talking about ego? See how it's ego right there? You feel like you're in competition with other people. There's this lack of teamwork, poor motivation, conflict of the ego. The ego is the driving force, telling you that you're wrong, telling you that you're not enough, telling you that it's an issue, right? When I was sharing my story in the beginning, my ego is telling me, oh, you're not good enough to get that apartment. But the reality is, I have more than enough to have that apartment. I have been in places, in spaces where I've been way down bad, way down bad, and I still came out on the other end. So why can't this come to me? So what if the credit score isn't exactly what I want? So what if the savings isn't exactly what I want? That doesn't mean anything. What's that Glorilla song where she was just like, I don't give an F about a credit score, I could be rich tomorrow? That's how I vibe. Like, yeah, like, of course it matters. Yes, I am working on it. Yes, I am paying back stuff and having this structure. But it's also like, just because I don't have the credit score I want doesn't mean that my value is less. That was something that we made up as humans. Like, we made that up. It doesn't actually mean anything. A credit score means nothing. Like, in the reality, in the greater scheme of everything, it means nothing. And not only that, it's like, why am I putting my value and my worth on how much money I bring in, or what a random number means to the world, or what kind of phone or clothes or shoes, right? It's all very materialistic. And I feel like that's where the focus is, right? You're focused on the wrong thing. And the focus needs to be on the inner work, the ego, the healing, the inner child. That's what needs your help. Because you also have 8 of Cups here, right? Fear of change, stagnation. Is staying in a bad situation, accepting less, avoidance. That's not just for you, babe. That is also for me. And it sucks. It really does suck, because when I get those cards, I'm like, oh, I know. But that fear of change, when it's in the upright, see how she walks away? No looking back. And there is mountains, there is journeys, but there is this bright light from the moon. There's these stars. There's this path. There is still guidance. There is still love. There is still people. Confirmation. Definitely confirmation for me. Especially the fear of change and accepting less and staying in a bad situation and avoidance. I think I stay avoiding because it's easier. It's easier just to stay in this space instead of actually changing, everything changing yet again, right? But one of the last cards that we have here is the Lovers. disharmony, imbalance, conflict, detachment, bad choices, and decisions, right? With all of this, this is just another reminder of that imbalance that you have within yourself and the detachment that you have, right? You've been detaching from yourself from a very long time, and maybe you have been like working on it, right? You're working on healing, but there is this part of you that's the easiest way to go, is detaching, and like, oh, well, as long as I detach, then I'm good to go, right? That's like go to. Dissociation and detachment. I'm also a Libra, so that's very easy for me to do. But it's like, oh, well, if I don't think about it, if I don't actually give it energy or effort, then it will just go away. And guess what? It never does. Never does. Nine of Wands, stubbornness, giving up, rigid, defensive. I think defensive really fits for you here because, especially if you've gotten this far, there's probably been many points where you're like, well, I don't think I'm that bad. Well, I don't think it's that. I don't think it's this. And I'm going to tell you, it definitely is you being stubborn and being defensive and not taking accountability of what's going on internally, because what's happening internally is what is being shown in your external. And until you start healing that, and until you start taking that, then it's always going to be like that, right? That's that Nine of Wands here. But on the bottom of the deck, you had these two cards. This is where we're going to end off here. Two of Wands, planning, first steps, making decision, leaving comfort, taking risk. And then Temperance, balance, patience, calm, tranquility. You know what both of these mean to me? Is that the moment that you take those steps and you leave that comfort zone, everything is going to become balanced. Everything is going to become clear. Everything is going to work out for you. But you have to take the leap. And I'm saying that to myself. I have to take the leap. I have to apply. I have to apply for that apartment. I can't be scared of it anymore. I have to take the path, because if I truly want this, I cannot get there until I do this. Until I make this leap, until I make this journey, until I start walking and taking the risk. So it's time for you to take the risk. It's time for you to move forward. It's time for you to really take the accountability, let it go, rest, and heal. That is what's going to take you from all of the other cards that we just had to these last two cards, right? Especially this. This is what you want. You want the peace, you want the balance, you want the clarity, you want the intuition, the patience, the harmony, serenity. That's what you want. But you cannot get there until you take that first step, until you take that first leap. And you're probably thinking, well, how do I do that? How do I get there? How do I do this when I'm so scared, or I don't have support, or I don't know where to begin? First and foremost, I'm going to tell you, you got to trust your gut. You got to trust your gut. You have to trust your intuition. Whatever first step that you think you need to make is probably right. But if you're really confused, if you really don't know, book a personal reading. We can go even deeper. And this will be a one-on-one with you and me. I have tarot, I have oracle, I have a combo, whatever, right? Definitely do one of those. I would definitely say oracle for this, or I'm sorry, tarot for this. But if you're like, I know I need more support in the long run for this whole journey, because just because you take this path, right, of taking the steps forward and really trusting yourself, trusting intuition, and taking those risks, to get to here is still going to be a journey. It's not just going to be smooth sailing. And if you know you don't have the friends, or you know you don't have the people or the family or the significant others or whatever, then join the collective, join the membership. We already have, there's like, at the time, there's like 7 of us that are in there right now. But it is expanding, it is growing. We are helping each other on so much. I already have 3 members that from the first month to the second month have had exponential growth. And I mean real growth, from changing stuff with their jobs, from growing their own business, to talking out relationships with their partners, with their friendships, with their families, having real conversations, not only just with me, but with other people that are in there, that are sharing the same experiences, that are feeling the same things. And if that's what you're looking for, definitely check that out. But like I said before, I also have my ego death workbook. If that's the first thing that you want to do, I would grab that. It's 15.55. It is like 100 pages. It's digital. I mean, you can print it out, of course, but if you're an iPad girly, iPad babe, all of the above, right? Definitely check that out. But I am super proud of you, because especially if you're at this point of the video, you're definitely locked in because you want to change and you want to grow. So definitely check me out. All of my handles are StellaNova424. I'm on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and soon to be Pinterest. We're coming out on Pinterest as well. Just tips, tricks, more of the videos, and all of that. So I'm really proud of you. And I know you got this. And of course, if you ever have any questions, comments, concerns, leave them below. Shoot me a DM on TikTok or Instagram, and I'll get back to you. Love you, babe.